Now, for more on this story, we can bring in our European Affairs editor, Catherine Nicholson. Catherine, later on today, EU defence ministers will be meeting. What can we expect to come out of that?
Well, this is a continuation of what's known as the Foreign Affairs Council, which began yesterday with the meeting where you said that the foreign ministers laid the groundwork. They broadened the scope for EU sanctions against Belarus to be brought against many more individuals and entities. Today, lots on the agenda, not just Belarus by any means, but there are two issues that are very present for these defence ministers. What's happening in Belarus, also what's happening in Ukraine. So just to kind of try and guide you through how those might be linked. Firstly, on Belarus, as you've outlined, thousands of people essentially camped out in woods in Belarus. All the evidence is that they've been essentially brought to Belarus with assistance of Belarus authorities, told they'll be able to get into the EU and claim asylum, and encouraged and impelled in various ways to try and cross the border, this creating quite a crisis situation. Now, so those sanctions had the scope broadened yesterday by the foreign ministers, but there is also a defence aspect to this. There are a lot of troops gathered around this Belarus border. It's a border with 3 EU states, Poland mostly, but also Lithuania and Latvia. Latvia at the weekend deployed troops of its own around the border with Belarus for military exercises, and the defence minister strongly indicating that this is a message to Belarus. At lunch today, so starting very soon, the defence ministers will be having a working lunch meeting with the head of NATO. As I said, not just Belarus, Ukraine also a big focus for them, because Ukraine, also in the EU's neighbourhood, very alarmed at a Russian military build-up around its borders that began in the spring. On Monday, France, powerful EU member, powerful NATO member, told Moscow that NATO would be prepared to defend the sovereignty of Ukraine. The US State Department has also recently suggested that the Belarus border situation is a diversion tactic away from the Ukraine situation, Belarus and Russia being very close allies, as we know. Now, Moscow's denying that. In fact, they're hitting back. President Putin and Macron had a call. Putin said that if tensions are increasing, it's because of US-led military exercises in the Black Sea. Putin says that's provocative. A very tangled web, alarming situations in many senses. And let's not forget an ongoing human cost with all of those people camped in Belarus. And, of course, people in Ukraine very worried about this as well.
And winter looming. And winter here, actually, in fact. Thank you very much for that, Catherine Nicholson there.